Okay, well, I'm back with another setup with an RK8 and RK6, a Digitect, then a Control 2 and an Alesis keyboard. How this is all connected is, well, it looks pretty simple, but it's actually, of course, a lot of stuff going on because it's, you know, retro kids. We've used the RK6 as the main merging splitting hub here. I've connected the OTG cable to it, and now I can connect a USB hub to the RK6, which means I can now merge 4 USB MIDI devices, which is pretty unique. And what's even more unique is that if you connect the RK8 to the 6 in this way, it will merge together in a special way. You can see that by the little routing icon here. It has a plus next to it, which means that routing is now actually managed by the RK8 instead of the RK6. It's a special mode in the RK6 you can also invoke with your own little software if you wish, but we used it for the RK8. What happens is every USB which comes in first goes to the 8, processed. For example, if you do another MIDI channel mapping here or some MIDI effects, which I will get to later on, it will first be processed, then go back to the 6 and then be sent out to all the other stuff. Also, if you want to connect 10 other MIDI devices to it here, no problem, it will first go through the 8 back to the 6 with all this processing. Well, firmware 2.33, we added some extras on it like MIDI FX and an event editor, and I will show you that with a little recording I make, which is still the same and easy way as before. Just press record, press play to start the playhead, record something, press rec to commit it, or press stop to try again. Okay, so we've got a bass line here. I've got something in the edit, in the track buffer here, and now I can look into it with the step time editor like this, alt mode. This is already there. You can go through the real-time playhead in steps. So it looks like a sequencer, but it's actually a supercharged sequencer because it's not confined to any polyphony or event. You can just record anything on this with the real-time buffer, but you can edit it later on in a sequence way. And now with the event editor you can edit it even more in a deep dive way, because in the step time editor you could see only the notes and some events or program changes. But if you press mode again, you can see the actual note, start time and more details. So more details of this note you can access with pressing rec, and now you can actually see the note number, velocity, note length, and on which MIDI channel it is. You can change notes with Alt, Deck and Ink. You can type a note like this and just continue. Change the velocity to maximum here and change the length like this. Change the MIDI channel even, because on the RK8 it doesn't matter on which MIDI channel it's played. You can record 16 MIDI channels on one track, so I can also play this on another track, on another MIDI channel if I want. Like this. So now it's back to octave 1. That's why I actually chose the Digitect, because you can see some lights flickering, and then it might be a bit easier to understand what we're getting at, because things will get a little bit complicated later on. Okay, well, what we can also do is if we are in this overview, you can press record and go to the left to do more global stuff on the event. So change the start time, erase the event, or add a new event. If you click on record, you can choose which kind of event you want to add: control change, program change, pitch bend, channel aftertouch, poly aftertouch. Well, since it's a monophonic 8-piece monophonic sample player, it wouldn't do much good entering another note here. So I'll enter a controller event. I'll just choose 74 because that's the filter, and the value 100, and the MIDI channel 8 like this. And now if I can go here, yeah, I already have the filter view ready here. I can play can use again holding Alt, Deck and Ink to change the value like this. I can also just type something. Well, I can exit it again and I can see that this control change has now been added to the event list. Well, simple as that, I would say. I mean, of course it's also simple to just use the mod wheel to change the controller. But anyway, you can now also do this in calculator style. Well, for so far, this event editor, I'll go to a new track and I'll show you some of the MIDI effects. We actually, there's already a possibility to do MIDI effects by connecting the RK2 to one of the outputs of the RK8. There's even a special menu here which you can use to read out the RK2 and control its parameters with the RK8. But there's also now a MIDI FX entry in the system menu, and we've made a MIDI FX Bus routing with 3 effects, 1, 2, 3. You can choose here which kind of effect you want with the digits, like arpeggiator, polymuxer or chord, or just through. And let's say I go to output menu, number Alt 7, and I have track 2. Normally it would play on channel 8. I can, for example, here select the ports. It sends out to any of the MIDI ports on the 8, so that means output 1, output 2, RK6, BLE, and now I also have 3 extra outputs here under 7, 8 and 9. I can choose to route it through FX1, which is now off, and I have a shortcut to go into the Alt9 effects menu by pressing record here. I can now select the effects type, like the arpeggiator. And I have some arpeggiator effects, like send it out on every port, a key range, for example, only apply the effect, the arpeggiator effect on the upper part, not on the lower part. So let's say, for example, the high key will be 60, and now nothing in the high range. I can also choose the lowest range to be 60. Disable that again. I can choose to bypass the effect, yes or no, just a quick bypass. The play mode, like alternating down, random or up, and an octave range, like 2 octaves. Now you can hear the play mode better. Like this. And a latch, which means that the arpeggiator keeps playing when you release the note. The gate time and the clock settings you can also make like very quick effects, quick arpeggiator. And there are patterns like okay, so well, you just have to see what comes out and play around with the arpeggiator to get some inspiration. Another effect is the, let's see, the polymuxer. It's now set to off. I'll just switch polymux on the second FX bus. What I can do with polymux is I can route one MIDI channel into multiple output channels. So I could use this to play the digitect polyphonically. The standard polyphony is round robin, which means it will rotate through a given number of MIDI channels. I'll use 4 channels in this case. You see, it rotates through 4 MIDI channels. Like this. I can also choose for a first free method, which means that if I keep one key pressed, it will skip the occupied notes. But round robin is nice. Okay, well, on which MIDI channel do you want to start the polymuxing? Now it starts on MIDI channel 1, but I can also start at MIDI channel 5, for example. And now I will rotate through those channels. So that's Polymux. And the other thing is I can add the third effect, like a chord effect. Now it's empty, and I'll choose chords. And well, this will not work because I'm sending a chord to a monophonic digitect. And now I come to the next part of the effects. You can also chain effects after each other. This is only FX1 can be chained to FX2, FX2 to 3, and so forth. So you have to choose which kind of order you want for the effects. So in my case, sending chord, the last effect, isn't very handy. That would be the Polymux here. And I'll send this notes to FX2, which will be the chord here. So now I'm actually sending a chord on one MIDI channel, but the Polymuxer will send it through other MIDI channels. But of course I don't have to forget, I have to send the effect not directly to the outputs, but to FX3. Like this. Okay, import. I still don't hear a chord, that's because the Polymuxer in the third effect slot is not set to more MIDI channels. I want 4. So now it's sending out chords on multiple MIDI channel with one MIDI input. This is the power of chaining MIDI effects. I could also send this channel to like MIDI FX1, the arpeggiator. I'll send the arpeggiator to FX2. And now I have a arpeggiated chord. Yeah, well, maybe your head's spinning a little bit, but yeah, then of course you can just use an arpeggiator and have fun with it. But if you see the extras you can do with chaining this MIDI effects, then this would be a nice movie for you. Well, that's about it on firmware 2.33. Yeah, keep those creative juices flowing and have fun. Bye bye.